Is WJLA 24/7 News. This is Let's Talk Live.
Okay, so have you ever bumped heads with the people you work with? Bump, bump, bump. No, not like a night at the Roxbury. Seriously. If you're having some issues with the people in your workplace, our next guest, Alissa Carpenter, has got you covered with some tips on ways to improve your relationship with coworkers and managers. So maybe you don't want to. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, Alissa. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
And you've got a book out called Everything's Not Okay and That's Okay?
That's my company name, yeah.
Gotcha. So let's talk about it. I mean, obviously, not everyone's going to be the best of friends, okay? But I mean, but are you at least supposed to give a little bit of effort when it's in the workplace, or can you be yourself?
I think you can be a little bit of both,
Okay.
right? It's really difficult to work with people who you don't think like, you don't work like, you're not going to be best friends with everyone. But at the end of the day, we're all there for the common good of the organization. So it's coming to a mutual understanding and have conversations with one another about, am I offending you? Am I not offending you? How are these conversations going? Because we were talking a little bit about even just emails.
Yeah.
And
Right.
a lot of things can happen through an email because some people capitalize things.
So
that's not what
first
they
of all,
mean.
I
Oh,
start
boy.
off an email. You know, if somebody's coming at you, or not coming at you, but like, you know, with a criticism or something like that, and then like I just typically respond like, well, first of all, and then my husband's like, you can't say first of all because that is a negative reply.
Yep.
Okay, why is first of all a negative reply? What is wrong with the words first of all?
I think it just sets the tone for the email of you should have already known this. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. And you know it's so frustrating that I hope everything is going well, and then you continue with your statement.
No, I meant that.
But right. And I think sometimes it's as I've told you in the past, it just sets this tone that you're not really necessarily appreciating from where they're coming from. But it's also how that person sees that email, right? That's why oftentimes I always suggest to my clients and organizations I work with, face-to-face is so much better because we're talking about email, we're talking about texting, it's your interpretation.
For
you
sure.
didn't mean anything.
It can
you
be
don't
a
get a
very,
tone.
yeah, it can be a very
You don't get the
congenial
tone.
Exactly.
Right, because the way you read it in your head, you know, it's like, thanks, you can add extra exclamation points in your head.
Right.
And they're trying to read it through your voice.
Right.
Like, first of all,
Right. So, I mean, so there has to be a balance, I guess you're saying, right?
Exactly.
I mean, but at the same time, you know, Julie doesn't like to necessarily hold back. So can you still be you and still work? I mean, anybody. I mean, as an example, like, you know, I mean, I think being open and speaking your mind is better than not saying anything at all. No?
I agree. There's definitely a happy medium between what you want to say or you think you want to say in your mind and then what you actually say in terms of being potentially aggressive or using harsh terms or words and how people kind of accept that or articulate it back to you.
So let me ask you this.
Sure.
Does the fact that we're now in a generation or an era within the workplace where we have an older group of people and a younger group of people, a different group of people, because we've talked about this, how we have some that are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to work a weekend. I can't believe I have to work a holiday. And you're talking to two veteran broadcasters who, for us, have done all of that.
Yes.
So sometimes it's like, you know that saying, suck it up, buttercup?
Yeah. And
so you're saying, don't say that to them.
You can feel it. You can really feel it in your mind. Like, oh, this is so frustrating.
Yeah.
And that's a huge cause of contention between baby boomers and millennials and now Gen Z coming in terms of just,
Z.
the next one's coming into the workforce and just this kind of idea of work ethic. And it's just idea of work ethic and what it looks like. And we sucked it up in the past and we made this work. But on the flip side, sometimes I hear millennials are coming in kind of guns blazing of, I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this. It's just a matter of taking a step back, asking how that person likes to be communicated with, and really explaining if you want to change this process or procedure, why? How do you think you can make it better?
Right.
And then on the flip side, if we're not going to take advantage of that, well, we've done this and this is what is happening. Let's work together. Is there a happy medium? How can we see both sides?
So does the manager or the upper levels have to drive this conversation, or can the employee? I mean, because that could be a kind of a slippery slope.
It's in my opinion, it's a two-way street. I don't think one person can drive the conversation, whether you're a baby boomer or a manager, and then the millennial, and then you're not meeting somewhere in the middle. There's a lot of bending and a lot of flexing and asking, how do you like to be communicated with? What's the best way to speak to you? And not being afraid to be a grown-up and say, you really offended me when you said this comment or you made this thing. Is this what you meant by this? And not calling out people in the middle of a meeting, right? That's the worst too. It's, 5 people in a meeting, it's like, oh, Julie's the worst. like,
Yeah.
you know, pull you aside
Wait, were you at that meeting
and have a
last week?
conversation.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like going back to managers, I also think that sometimes managers, you know, fan the flames to a situation and not get involved to say, let's bring everybody together and like, how do we better do this? Because I think sometimes maybe miscommunication is literally, like you said, a frustrating aspect of the job overall. Not like I'm not frustrated with you, Alissa, but just the situation overall, so that when something happens, it does to boil over.
No, I appreciate them. All right. Well, we have to wrap up quickly. Where can we get more information? Where can somebody have a site or somebody can check out more?
Sure. On my website at notokaythat'sokaycoach.com.
And you'll be here tomorrow morning to help me navigate talking to this
Exactly.
one.
I'll walk with you everywhere.
Thank you. Because first of all, we have more of Let's Talk Live coming up right after the
Second of
break.
all, Julie might not be here when we get back. I'm just saying.